All right, boys, we are back, and it's time for us to continue our Year 4 playoffs with your Toronto Maple Leafs. Round 2, we got the Florida Panthers. I want to talk a little bit about the last round against the Philadelphia Flyers, because man, oh man, did that series ever drive me insane. I really thought that we were going to lose. But before we do that, let's just quickly take a look at what we're going up against here in round number 2 against the Florida Panthers here. It's 4 years in, so, it's not like they would be a rookie team anymore. Guys like Alexander Barkov, yeah, he's 24 years of age. Jonathan Huberdeau, 26. So a veteran team here. But you know what? These guys, they could have actually grown a little bit higher. Only 89 overall, 88 overall. Riley Smith, 85 overall. So we've seen better first line. We saw a better first line in the last round with Simmons, Voracek, and Claude Giroux. So maybe more of a defensive first line. I thought Riley Smith would be a sniper. He's a two-way forward, Barkov, power forward, playmaker. Yeah, you might have a defensive first line right there. Second line, you got Connor Brickley, Jared McCann, and Nick Bjugstad. Man, look at those centers that they have here. McCann, Bjugstad, Trocheck, and Barkov. Yeah, these guys might be good defensively. I'd imagine those four guys are probably killing the penalties. Penalty kill dream team right here. Two-way forwards everywhere. All right, so that is a defensive top six. Third line, you got Jace Howerluck, Vincent Trocheck, and Jonathan Marchese. 83 playmaker. Pretty good third line. We still possess the greatest third line in the NHL, along with the greatest fourth line. These guys, Juho Lamiko, Adam Masherin, and Brendan Davidson. So like a 78, a 79, not the greatest. I wonder if they have a better defensive core. And yes, they do. I knew that Aaron Ekblad would be good, but John Carlson. So the free agent acquisition, was it last year, the year before that? I remember seeing him there. He signs with the Florida Panthers and completes a very nice top two defensive pairing. 90 and a 91 overall. Second line, Captain Keith Yandel and Jason Demers. Pretty good. We know what Captain Keith can do. I think our second line is slightly better. Well, actually, no, it is better. 86 and an 87. But still, veteran. Not bad. And then the third line, you got Matheson and Petrovic. Or Petrovich, whatever floats your boat. That would be better than ours just because Nelson is only 81. And what about goaltenders? Is it James Reimer? Jim Reimer? No, it's not Luongo either. Samuel Montebaum. All right, so a 23-year-old goaltender, 84 overall. That's the chink in the armor right there. I know they have a strong defensive core. They look to have a defensive forward core, but their goaltender, 84 overall. If we can't score on this guy, man, there's a serious problem. And we'll get to that in a second. I still want to talk about the Philadelphia Flyers series. Just before we do, we'll compare. Frederik Andersen, so we have the advantage on paper anyways, in the net. Lineup here, hang on a second. Defensively, Morgan Riley, actually 92, better than both those guys, but Ville Poka 85. I'd give the first line defensive pairing to them. Jake Gardner and Connor Carrick to us. Jelena and Nelson goes to them with Matheson and Petrovic. All right, but the forward core, I mean, look at all these freaking studs we got. Taylor Hall, Austin Matthews, William Nylander, all in the 90s. JVR, Mitch Marner, Kasperi Kapanen, better than their second line. The best third line in the NHL, Timoshev, Cody Eakin, Daniel Sprong, who's our leading point man in the playoffs so far. He had a big Game 7 against the Philadelphia Flyers. And the best fourth line in the NHL as well, okay? So what I want to discuss with the Philadelphia Flyers is a very worrisome pattern that I've picked up on. Now, this goes back to last year's playoff run, where we got kicked out in six games after going down 3-0 in the series. We managed to get it back to Game 6. But it wasn't Frederik Andersen's fault, even though he didn't play as well as he had the year before that, where he got us to the third round all by himself. We were unable to get 3 goals before the end of regulation last year, and that was our undoing. Well, look at it again this year, okay? Game 1, 3-2 win, but it took overtime to get that third goal. Game 2, 3-2 win, but it took overtime to get that third goal. Game 3, okay, we won in overtime. We had 5 goals, 4 by the end of regulation. Okay, that's nice. But then look at this. Game 4, 1 goal, 4 and a loss. Game 5, 2 goals, 4 and a loss. Game 6, 2 goals, 4 and a loss. And Game 7, we won, but the third goal came in overtime. 7 games into this playoffs, we have yet to get a win in regulation, and we only have 1 game that we got 3 goals or more before the end of regulation. Now, going back to last year's playoff run as well, very familiar pattern. Now, that's the reason we traded for Taylor Hall, but it doesn't seem to be working, right? Now, you guys were suggesting some different line changes, and I would agree. I don't want to go into this series trying the same thing, because ever since we traded for Taylor Hall, man, post-trade deadline, we lost out on the President's Trophy. First round against the Flyers, we just did not score goals. He's got a goal and 3 assists, but I mean, look at this forward core. I want like 4 or 5 goals before the end of the third period. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to JVR, Austin Matthews, and William Nylander. You guys were saying try JVR, that power forward with Matthews and Nylander. That's what we had before we traded for Taylor Hall. And then you got Mitch Marner, Kasperi Kapanen, and Taylor Hall could be a second line left winger right now. I'm going to keep the third and fourth line the way they are. And defensively, I'm going to change around Connor Carrick with Ville Polka. The reason being is because Connor Carrick takes a lot more shots. He's got a lot of goals, and we got a lot of playmakers on that first line with Austin Matthews and William Nylander. We need goals. I don't care if they come from the point, and you guys have always been saying move Connor Carrick up. So we're going to try this for 2 games. If we go down 0-2, I'm not going to make any more line changes myself. I'm just going to hit best lines and hope that Babcock can figure out the way to get these guys scoring. I might have to put Taylor Hall in the 3rd or 4th line, right? Just spread it around. Just go pure depth, because the 3rd and 4th line are the only ones that are scoring right now. So, much better. Some H2O, nothing like it. So that's the answer for the well, I'm hoping that's the answer for the offense. Mike Babcock will make the changes if he needs to, if we go down in the series. I'm trusting that this 95 for offense team can get more than 3 by the end of regulation. And that's the stat we're going to track here, boys. I'm not looking at Frederik Andersen. It'd be nice if he could play like the year 2 Andersen in the first 3 rounds, where he just dominated for us. But I'm looking for 3 or more by the end of regulation. I'm calling on all of our best players, all right? So let's keep an eye on that stat. Game 1, Air Canada Center, up against the Florida Panthers. Let's see what they're all about. First period. All right, so 1 for Florida, 1 for Toronto. It's nice to see Austin Matthews score. Guy had like 4 assists, no goals in round number 1. If you put JVR on that line, maybe that gets him going again. I like to see Matthews scoring, our captain. He needs to get going. All right, so second period. All right, I'll take that. But again, boys, now look at this. We're on pace for less than 3 before the end of regulation. This is a game where, you know, if this gets to overtime 1-1, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We need to score more freaking goals. Resume simulation. Third period of game number 1. Can the Toronto Maple Leafs find a way to get that offense going? They got so many guns on the team. Penalty kill. It's a 5-on-3. The Leafs kill it off. At least the defense is still playing well. And Frederik Andersen. Oh, man. Freddie, you may have to play like you did 2 years ago. Yeah, again, boys, look at this. Look at this. Oh, going back to last year's playoffs. And now this year's playoffs. What is that? That's 7 of the last 8 games now. We've been unable to score more than 3 before the end of regulation. This is a scary pattern, all right? We're going to need another hero. And, well, we'll get to that in a second. Resume simulation. Can we get one? Who's going to step up in game number 1? Power play for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They don't get her. Come on. 14 minutes left. Well, it doesn't really matter. We're in overtime. There's going to be another goal. One team's going to win. One team's going to lose. Shots are in favor of the Leafs. Penalty kill. Oh, we kill it off. Good job, boys. 4 minutes left. The first overtime has come, and it's gone. So you can add that. Again, another period goes by. The Leafs cannot score a goal. Do we have a hero? Do we have a game 1 hero? Come on, blue and white. Yes, power play. Yes, baby. Taylor Hall. He comes through. All right, Taylor Hall. That's huge. That's a huge trade deadline acquisition. I want you to be scoring more in regulation, but I'll take it. Now, the stat that I was going to get to that I didn't want to talk about just yet, Jesus, man, that's what, 8 games now into this playoff run as a contender. We're supposed to be 8 games into the playoffs, and we've yet to record a regulation win. Our 5th win of the playoffs, all of which being overtime games. We're going to shoot ourselves in the foot if we keep playing like this, guys. We need offense, and we need it in regulation, so I'm not making any line changes. The good news is that we play good defensively. You know what, though? I did point out that the Florida Panthers, they may be a defensive team, and that may be the case. But 84 overall goaltender, come on! There should be no excuse. So here it is, boys. Oh, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Can they score some goals? First period. All right, well, it's a tie game, I suppose. But look, the pattern continues. Frederik Andersen is playing like a beast right now. You can't blame him at all. Second period, well, no, you still can't blame him. Only 13 shots on the net after 2 for Florida, but they managed to get a goal. Davidson on Frederik Andersen. Come on now, Toronto. Third period comeback. It's still possible that we get that third goal by the end of regulation, but we got to start with one. There it is. Austin Matthews, his second goal of the series. That's nice. But look, boys, the pattern continues. Once again, the Toronto Maple Leafs in a tie in the third period with less than 3 goals scored. 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left, power play, late, we don't score, and we're going to overtime again. What the hell, man? It's 9 games. Oh, okay, enough with these stats. We just got to play. Resume simulation. Do we have another overtime hero here in game number 2? Yes, we do! James Van Riemsdyk, baby! So, that move, JVR and Taylor Hall both work out for overtime winners. JVR on the first line gets it in game number 2. Taylor Hall on the second line gets it in game number 1. And the Toronto Maple Leafs win it 2-1 again. Oh my God, this is not going to continue, man. That's 9 games now we've got into these playoffs, and we've yet to earn a single regulation win. 9 games in. Oh my God. All right, hang on one second. I'm hearing shit. All right, I'm back. Sounds like there's some animals going at it outside my window. Jesus Christ, man. Something's getting butchered out there. So look at this. 96 for offense now. I think after that last game, somebody grew. So that's even more of a reason why we should be getting more. Austin Matthews up to 9. Did he grow to a 92 or was he? I think he grew to a 92. Taylor Hall, Sprong, Timo Chevy. Everyone else looks the same. So Jesus, man. We got such a stacked offensive team. There's no reason why we should not be able to get goals. But whatever, as long as we're getting a win. So the Toronto Maple Leafs continue to win the close game. If we could just open up the offense, man, everything would come together. This team is... I built it for offense. Fucking score. So here we go. A 2-0 series lead is not a bad thing, but we had a 3-0 series lead in round number 1. That almost went to shit, right? I mean, it's more of the same, man. Here we go. Game number 3 in Florida. First period. All right, I'll take that. Austin Matthews. He's scoring, man. You can't blame Austin in this one. The captain has woke up for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's good. Now keep the goals coming, boys. 1 is good, but get 2, get 3, get 4, get 5. Come on, baby. Pour that shot on the freaking net. You got a 23-year-old goaltender in there. Guy's got to be worried. Shell shock his goofy ass. Second period. Yeah! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Kasperi Kapanen gets 2. And the Toronto Maple Leafs finally get 3 goals. And they didn't even take the third period. 3 goals before the end of the second. That's more like it. That's what we can do. Now we can still score in the third. We got the routine and we can still score. Power play for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They got a 2-0 series lead. They're on the brink of going up 3-0. Hold on to that lead there, Frederik Andersen. Hold on to that lead. I'm happy if we don't score. We got 3. That's the stat I'm tracking right now. And we get 4. The fourth line, Greg Belfour chips in. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, for the second round in a row, they take the first 3 games. They go up 3-0 in the series. Now, have we learned from our mistakes? Or will we allow the same thing that happened against the Flyers to happen right here against the Panthers? Will they storm back? Oh, let me just bring up the calendar here for a second. All these numbers are flying around in my head. So, out of how many games now? 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games. We have 2 out of 10 games that we were able to score 3 or more before the end of regulation. And it took us 10 games of the playoffs to get our first regulation win. This is an unorthodox playoff run right now. To have 7 wins in the playoffs and those kind of stats, that's just unheard of. You know, you're not scoring goals like we are. You're usually out in the first or, first round or second round early. Toronto Maple Leafs are on the brink of getting back to the Eastern Conference Finals with only 1 regulation win. I mean, we have been an overtime clutch team. Keep it up, boys. All right, so offense, Austin Matthews, our captain, keep on coming through. First period, yeah, baby. Morgan Rielly. I'm liking this early goal scoring. Morgan Rielly, our captain on defense, gets one from the top of the circle. Keep it going, boys. Keep it going. Second period. All right. We got the 1 goal going into the third. Not 3 like last time. Come on now, Frederik Andersen. Keep us in this game. Do we have a third period hero ahead of us? Come on. Penalty kill. Penalty kill. We kill it 14 minutes remaining here in the third period. The Toronto Maple Leafs are on the brink of the Eastern Conference Finals for the second time in 3 years. Power play for Florida goes for nothing. The Leafs kill it off. And look at this again, boys. Look at this again. So 9 out of the last 11 games in the playoffs, we've been unable to score more than 3 before the end of regulation. It's a worrisome freaking stat. Do we have another overtime hero in us? Resume simulation. The Leafs, somebody could put the puck in the net and send us back to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's a big moment. And it's taken by the super Swede, William Nylander. He buries it on Brian Elliott and the Toronto Maple Leafs. They sweep the Florida Panthers. 4 games is all it took with 3-2-1 victories. 3 in overtime. My God, man. 7 overtime victories in the first 2 rounds alone. This is a very, very unorthodox playoff. I gotta look at this just to believe it. Hang on a second here. 2-1 overtime win, 2-1 overtime win, 2-1 overtime win. Well, I guess the MVP of that series could be Frederik Andersen. Holy crap. 1 goal against, 1 goal against, 1 goal against, 1 goal against, with all these extra periods being played. So, I mean, that's a series, boys. Frederik Andersen won us that series. It's nice that we had the overtime heroes. Wouldn't have mattered if we'd allowed 2 goals before the end of regulation. That's a series we couldn't even allow 2 goals before. I mean, fuck, man. That's some bad offense right there. This is such a weird playoff run. I mean, we're in the Eastern Conference Finals, but after both round wins, I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel like we deserve it. Am I crazy? The Taylor Hall trade, man, what the hell? It's done, but, you know what? I'm going to calm down. I'm about to swear right there. Calm her down, all right? William Nylander with the overtime game winner, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are off to the Eastern Conference Finals to face either the Columbus Blue Jackets or the Boston Bruins. All right, let's slow her down. I could use some more water as well. I got no more water. Drank it all. Great. The H2O is gone. Let's take a look. So, LA is up 3-2. Colorado is up 3-2. Boston is up 3-2. What's going to happen here? Everything is still 3-2. Let's see. So the Boston Bruins, baby. Boston beats Columbus 4-2, and that's who we got in the Eastern Conference Finals. LA and Edmonton are going to a Game 7, and Colorado have beat the Nashville Predators. Let's see who's taking game number 7 for the Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings. It's the Edmonton Oilers. So the Oilers, they lost to us in the finals in round number 2, missed the playoffs. Round number 2, year number 2, missed the playoffs in year number 3, and now, just like us, are going back, or trying to get back to the Stanley Cup Finals. So, 2 very successful franchises right here, and we have now got to face the team that kicked us out in 2013, the Boston Bruins. All right, so player stats. Let's just take a look at this. I think like this is going to be all over the place. I have no one to call right here. All right, so I got somebody to call. Austin Matthews certainly woke up in that second series. 3 goals. They all came in round number 2. That's a good one for him. Taylor Hall, 9 points in 11 games played. Taylor Hall, it's so weird to say it. You know what? They're -3, -4. I mean, they're getting points. It just doesn't feel like they're dominating. Maybe it's just me. Kasperi Kapanen, 8 points. JVR, 8 points. Sprong, not a single point in that series. Mitch Marner, 6 points. Okay. William Nylander, 3 points. I think all 3 points came in that second round. He got like nothing in that first round. Defenseman Morgan Riley with 9. Jake Gardner with 4. Ville Polka with 2. Connor Carrick, 1 point. So maybe those line changes. Connor Carrick up to an 88 overall as well now. Ooh. And Frederik Andersen, he's certainly, yeah. He was at .922 before. It jumped up to .937. And his goals against is way below 2 now. 1.84. It was at 2.45 or something like that. Or I forget. But Jesus, man, he really had a great series. So if Frederik Harold Bluetooth Anderson can continue to play like that, and if we could just somehow find a way to get consistent goal scoring, we could be a threat in this playoff, man. But I'm not liking the way we are simulating. Even though we swept the Florida Panthers, we have 8 wins to our name here in the playoffs, and we have 1 regulation win, right? So, boys, what's going on here? Is this unheard of? Is this regular? Has there been a team recently that's gone on this kind of run where 7 of their first 8 wins in the playoffs came from overtime wins? I mean, they could have easily been bad puck bounces, and we could have lost those games. We would have lost in the first round of Philadelphia. Do we deserve to be here? I mean, Is the simulation going to continue to smack us in the face for lack of goals? Should I make a lie? I don't know what to do. So, boys, let me know. The GM is pleading from his pro scouts on help on how we can improve our offense. I got 95 for offensive rating, but we have an inability to score more than 2 before the end of the third period, and that has got to stop, all right? We're part of the Final Four. I can win the second Stanley Cup in 3 years. What do we do, boys? Let me know, and I will see you guys in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Bruins. Be sure to check out our website, 2bcsports.com, where the hockey talk continues. Find myself and others in the live interactive chat, or dive into the active forums to talk about sports and gaming. You can also find us on Twitch, where the live streams come to life.